There's one Porsche that's about to slip away forever, and most people have no idea it's happening. While everyone's distracted by market chaos and EV headlines, a legendary 911 is quietly crossing into six-figure territory. I'm talking about the last analog Porsche you'll ever afford, with manual transmissions disappearing faster than free donuts at a police station. In the next 15 minutes, I'll reveal which 997 model is your final ticket to the club, show you auction data that'll shock you, and explain why 2025 is literally your last chance. Miss this window? You'll regret it forever. Let's hunt. Let me introduce you to automotive perfection with a German accent. The Porsche 997.2 Carrera S, produced from 2009 to 2012, is what happens when engineers fix everything wrong with the previous generation while keeping everything right. Under the hood sits a naturally aspirated 3.8-liter flat six with direct fuel injection. The MA1 DFI engine that Porsche nerds worship like a religious artifact. This beast pumps out 385 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, launching you from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds on its way to a 188 mile/hour top speed. But here's the kicker, it does this without a single turbocharger, making it the last naturally aspirated Carrera S ever built. About 16,000 of these beauties rolled off the production line, with roughly 30% being manuals. Yes, you heard that right. Manual transmissions in a 997.2 are genuinely rare, which explains why they're commanding premium prices in today's market. Current market reality check. You're looking at $55,000 to $85,000 for decent examples with 50 to 80k miles, with the average sale price hitting $60,944. Manual transmissions are the golden tickets here, regularly commanding 80 to 90k for clean examples. These same cars were trading for 40 to 65k just 5 years ago. That's a 25% appreciation that puts most stock portfolios to shame. Recent auction data tells the real story. A 2010 997.2 Carrera S manual with reasonable mileage sold for $78,000 on Bring a Trailer in April 2025, while a pristine 2012 example hit $92,000 in February. Yes, that's down about 10 to 12% from 2024 peaks. But stick with me, this dip is actually your golden ticket. First, reliability that would make a Lexus engineer jealous. Remember the dreaded IMS bearing that haunted early water-cooled 911s? Gone. Completely eliminated. The 997.2's MA1 DFI engine uses a completely redesigned timing chain system that laughs at the problems that plagued its predecessors. Independent data shows 90% MOT pass rates, and the direct injection system delivers performance without the complexity of modern turbo engines. Second, it's the Goldilocks of 911s, not too raw like the 996, not too electronic like the 991, and not too expensive like the GT cars. It's genuinely usable as a daily driver, yet remains completely uncompromised at the track. Plus, hydraulic power steering that actually talks to you instead of feeling like a video game controller. Let's address the elephant in the room, the alternatives. The 981 Cayman S from 2013 to 2016 offers brilliant mid-engine handling for similar money. The 3.4-liter engine is sweet and the balance is sublime, often praised by drivers for its precision and agility. But here's the reality check. It lacks the 911 mystique, the rear seats for your friends or kids, and most importantly, the appreciation potential. Market projections show 5 to 10% growth by 2027 for Cayman S models versus 10 to 15% for 997.2 Carrera S variants. What about a 996 Turbo? Sure, you get 420 horsepower and all-weather capability for 45 to 75k, but maintenance costs average $3,000 annually versus $2,000 to $2,500 for the naturally aspirated 997.2. Plus, you're still dealing with some of those early water-cooled issues. Here's a fun fact that'll blow your mind. A 2009 997.2 Carrera S manual that sold for around $36,000 in 2018 is now worth over $75,000. That's better ROI than most people's 401k plans. Quick timeout. I need your input here. Are you team 997.2 Carrera S or team 981 Cayman S? I know some of you are secretly thinking about that mid-engine magic, and I get it. Drop your vote in the comments and tell me why you're leaning that way. And hey, if this deep dive is helping you hunt for the perfect Porsche, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. We've got some serious car hunting ahead, and I promise it's going to be worth your time. Now, let's talk about why 2025 is the absolute sweet spot for 997.2 buyers. It's like the stars aligned, but instead of making a wish, you should be making an offer. The macro factors working in your favor right now? First, Porsche's having what we'll diplomatically call a challenging year globally. China sales dropped 42% in Q1 2025. That's not a dip, that's a cliff dive. New US tariffs added 25% to import costs, creating inventory pressure that's rippling through the entire ecosystem, including used cars. When new car demand softens, used car prices typically follow. But here's where it gets interesting. Second, the EV transition is reshaping buyer psychology in ways that favor gas-powered classics. The 718 went electric in 2025, and Taycan depreciation has been absolutely brutal. We're talking an average $56,000 loss from original MSRP. This is pushing enthusiasts toward the last pure gasoline icons, but they're starting with the obvious choices like GT3s, leaving hidden gems like the 997.2 temporarily overlooked. But here's the fundamental shift happening underneath all this chaos. Manual transmission demand has skyrocketed to 52% of enthusiast purchases, according to Hagerty's 2025 Collector Car Survey. Think about that for a second. In a world where most new cars don't even offer manual transmissions, over half of serious buyers are specifically hunting for 3 pedals. The 997.2 Carrera S manual represents just 30% of total production, creating genuine scarcity in an increasingly automatic world. The collector community is finally recognizing what Porsche purists have known for years. The 997.2 was the last hydraulic steering 911, the final naturally aspirated Carrera S, and the bridge between analog feel and modern reliability. Production was also limited by the 2009 to 2012 banking crisis, which kept numbers lower than they would have been in normal economic times. So what should you do? Target 50 to 80,000 mile manual examples in the 70 to 85K range. These represent the sweet spot between affordability and collectability. Always get a pre-purchase inspection, budget $1,500, but consider it essential insurance for checking DME over revs and PASM functionality. Watch bring-a-trailer auctions like a hawk. Late bidding often saves $5,000 versus dealer prices, and the data is transparent. Renlist forums offer private sales that can net you 5 to 10K savings versus dealer lots, but do your homework on service history and ownership documentation. Conservative market analysis projects 997.2 Carrera S manual values hitting $100,000 by 2027. That's not wishful thinking, it's math. With production capped at roughly 5,000 manual examples worldwide and growing collector recognition, the fundamentals support sustained growth. Here's a real-world example that'll make you either excited or depressed, depending on your timing. A 2010 997.2 Carrera S manual sold for $43,000 in 2020, according to Cars and Bids data. That same spec car brings $78,000 today. The trend is crystal clear, and the current market dip is your entry point. Alright, let's kill the fear factor around Porsche maintenance with some real numbers from real owners. The 997.2 Carrera S isn't a financial black hole, if you know what you're getting into and plan accordingly. Expect $2,000 to $3,000 per year for proper care. Before you gasp, let's break that down. Oil changes every 5,000 miles run about $400 each if you're going to a quality independent shop. Brake service every 30,000 miles averages $1,500, and tire replacement every 20,000 miles costs around $1,200 for a quality rubber that won't leave you sideways in a corner. Annual fluid flushes and basic maintenance add another $500 to $800. Every 30,000 miles, budget $2,500 to $4,000 for the comprehensive service. This includes spark plugs, $400, drive belts, $200, and if you're running a manual transmission, clutch replacement averages $2,500 at independent shops. Dealer rates? Double that, because apparently their mechanics wear diamond-encrusted gloves. Coil packs fail around 80,000 miles and run about $1,200 for the complete set. Water pump replacement averages $900 and typically coincides with coolant system service around 60,000 miles. If your car has PASM, Porsche Active Suspension Management, budget about $2,000 per pair for shock replacement every 5 to 7 years, depending on how aggressively you attack those corners. Here's the crucial difference that separates the 997.2 from its predecessors. The MA1 engine completely eliminated the IMS bearing, and bore scoring issues that plagued earlier engines affect less than 0.5% of 997.2 examples. This is fundamentally reliable engineering that doesn't require crossing your fingers every time you turn the key. One PCA member documented spending $12,000 in maintenance over 5 years of ownership, while his 997.2 appreciated $25,000 in value. That's the reality of smart Porsche ownership. The car literally pays for its own maintenance through appreciation while providing driving enjoyment that's impossible to quantify. The bottom line, budget $2,500 to $5,000 annually to keep your 997.2 Carrera S thriving and appreciating. Compared to the depreciation hit on a new car, it's actually a bargain that drives like a dream. Before we get to the fun driving part, I've got to ask, how do you handle Porsche maintenance costs? Are you the DIY hero changing your own oil, or do you have an independent shop you trust with your life? Drop your maintenance tips and horror stories in the comments, because we're all learning from each other here. And seriously, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button and join the hunt for automotive perfection. Time for the moment of truth. Forget the spreadsheets and auction results for a minute. Let me take you on a mental journey behind the wheel of a 2010 997.2 Carrera S with a 6-speed manual, threading through canyon roads that make every other car feel irrelevant. Fire up that naturally aspirated 3.8-liter flat 6, and the first thing you notice is the sound. Pure, unfiltered Porsche DNA without turbo whistle or electronic manipulation. Plant your right foot, and 385 horsepower surges through the rear wheels with linear power delivery that builds to the 7,200 RPM redline like a symphony reaching crescendo. Snick the gear shift into third gear, and you feel the mechanical connection that modern paddle shifts simply cannot replicate. The clutch has weight and feel. The throws are precise, and every gear change is a conscious decision that connects you to the driving experience in ways that automatics, even brilliant ones like PDK, simply cannot match. The hydraulic steering is alive in your hands. Every surface change, every camber shift, every tiny variation in the road flows directly to your fingertips without electronic filtering. PASM adjusts the dampers in real time, delivering impressive lateral grip while maintaining compliance over broken pavement. It's the perfect balance between track capability and daily usability. Compared to a 981 Cayman S, the 997.2 feels less clinical and more emotional. The rear engine placement creates a unique dynamic, stable under braking, adjustable through corners, and explosive on exit. It's the difference between surgical precision and passionate engagement, and while both have their place, the 911 character is something special. Against a 996 turbo, you sacrifice raw acceleration but gain daily usability and long-term reliability. The naturally aspirated engine never feels peaky or temperamental, just smooth, immediate response that matches your right foot's requests perfectly. The emotional connection that justifies the price. This isn't just about transportation or even performance. It's about being connected to 50-plus years of 911 evolution while experiencing the last of a dying breed. Every drive reminds you that hydraulic steering, naturally aspirated engines, and manual transmissions are becoming museum pieces in new cars. So, what did we learn today? 997.2 Carrera S. 55 to 85K buys you 385 horsepower, 0 IMS risk, and 10 to 15% projected growth by 2027. Why it's the best buy. Manual rarity, proven reliability, 911 icon status, and market timing that favors buyers. Why buy in 2025? Prices temporarily softened 10 to 12% due to macro factors, but manual examples are climbing steadily and the fundamentals support continued appreciation. Versus alternatives. The 981 Cayman S offers better balance for similar money, but the 997.2's 911 heritage, rear seats, and appreciation potential make it the smarter long-term choice. The emotional argument that trumps everything else? This isn't just a car purchase. It's your last chance to own the final analog 911 at an affordable price. Every month you wait, prices climb, and inventory disappears into the hands of collectors who understand what they have. Your action plan starts now. Get pre-approved financing, find a qualified PPI inspector in your area, join Renlist, and set up cars and bids alerts for your parameters. When the right manual 997.2 Carrera S appears, be ready to move quickly because hesitation equals heartbreak in this market. The window is closing on the 997.2 Carrera S, but it hasn't slammed shut yet. Buy this legend in 2025 before it joins the GT3 in the missed opportunity category that'll haunt your automotive dreams forever. Thanks for chasing the dream with me. Now get out there and find your legend before someone else does.